this video is all about, if you struggle with thoughts of ending your own life, taking yourself out of here, we're going to get deep into that. And I'm going to make a very strong argument on why you should stay here. You deserve to be here. But before we get into that first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Crane Metal Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. One of the most asked questions on Google when someone is having thoughts of, saying peace to the world is, what does the Bible say about it? And is it a sin? And does the Bible talk about people who wanted to die? That is one of the topics that people look up. They want to know. They debate with God if that's where they want to be. The Bible doesn't necessarily use the term that we're using, the correct term. And I have to filter out the term that I'm using for YouTube because they don't like these type of subjects. So the Bible doesn't necessarily use that term, but it describes instances where people like Judas, etc., Saul, they kind of took their own lives out of here, but it was due from guilt. But at one point, Elijah did feel alone, afraid, and worthless, so he did beg God to take my life away. In 1 Kings 19 verse 4 through 8, he says, he went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree, and he asked that he might die. He said, it is enough. Now, God, take my life away, for I am no better than my forefathers. Then he lay down and fell asleep under the broom tree, but suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, get up and eat. When he looked, there at his head was a round loaf of heated stones and a jug of water. He ate and drank and lay down again. Later, the angel of God came back a second time and touched him and said, get up and eat, for the journey will be too much for you. So he got up and ate and drank, and in the strength of that nourishment, he went on for 40 days and 40 nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of the true God. Elijah poured out his feelings to God. How did God encourage him? God showed him concern and gave him a demonstration of his power. He also assured Elijah that he was still needed and gave Elijah a caring and capable assistant. Elijah poured out his heart, and a lot of Christians feel very guilty. Life be lifing in the past before. And it's not even being tight with God, because Elijah literally went up to heaven to be with God. So he was really tight with God. So oftentimes you feel like, as a Christian, I'm being real transparent with you guys. In my moments where I'm really strong with God, and there's feelings that I felt in the past that, why am I feeling these feelings now? I'm really strong with God, but the overwhelming sadness that you can feel with life, with the burdens of life or situations that are happening, you can hear those little words that are like, hey, what's the point? What's the point? Or be out of there, blah, 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 all these things. And then there's a guilt as Christians that you'll feel for feeling that, because if I'm really tight with God, then how could I feel this way? But it shows that there are people in the Bible that were like this with God. I'm going to give you more examples than just Elijah, where God really loved them, found favor on them, and they still was begging God, take my life. But the fact that Elijah didn't just take his own life, Moses didn't take his own life, Job, none of these people were named as examples took it. They were more so asking God. It shows me that they understood that taking their own life and taking matters into their own hands would not be permitted. Because if it were, they would have just done it. But they understood, and instead they poured out their hearts to God, right? So it was not permitted to do that. But you can cry out to your Father. He knows what's too much for you. And when you cry out, he always has a way out. Elijah was so depressed, an angel had to wake him up to be like, hey, get up, eat. Twice the angel did that, the scripture says. Get up and eat. The road's won't be long for you. And God sustained him enough to where that food lasted in his stomach 40 days. Only the power of God can do that. But Elijah had reason to be depressed because they were seeking to end his life. They were looking for him. He was in hiding. This was a sermon of God. That also shows that we can be Christians and we're like, why is this happening to me? Why is this that I serve God? And you get angry with God. But it shows his strongest servants in the Bible had those moments where they went through where people were seeking their lives. They were under immense stress and pressure. And yet God allowed it and just made a way for them. God could have just made Elijah had a perfect, happy life, nothing happening, just praise me. But no, these type of things only increase your faith and build your relationship with God and your character and strength. And I used to pray I still pray, I'm not gonna lie, like certain things that are happening. Lord, please just take this cup from me. Even Jesus made that prayer to God, the Father, and was like, please take if it is possible, take the cup from me. Although he knew he still had to bear it because look at the greater scheme. But it's not in the moment that we see why we needed to go through what we're going through in the moment. We just want it to be done. We want to throw ourselves out the window or take 10 pills and knock out and not sleep, but not knowing that this too shall pass. Don't listen to that voice. And there's a reason why all of these people made the request to God, but they didn't follow through and suit with it, right? And God, when you pour out your heart to him, does give help. Because not only did he encourage Elijah, he manifested himself to Elijah in the winds, in the elements, and showed him like, hey, I'm with you. It was a form of comfort. God may not get you out of the storm. And I'm a living testimony for that. I've been in the storm, but he didn't get me out of the storm. He left me in the storm, but he showed me that I am right next to you. I am right here with you. We're going to go through this storm together. I'm not going to just get you out because it's necessary for you, but it hurts so bad while you're in it. But when he confirms to me that he's with me, it strengthens me to keep going, which is what happened to Elijah. So God might not, and you feel like because he didn't just whip you out of the storm, then it's not a victory and you abandon it. He's left you hanging. No, he's right there next to you. He knows and already sees what you're going through. And he's like, Kareen, or insert your name, Lily, Sarah, I'm with you. I'm with you in the middle of the storm, and you're gonna be fine. But I'm not just gonna whip you out, because this is, once you do finally, we come through it together, there's a transformation that's gonna come through you that's gonna be better. Many people that wanted to end their life, that came out of it better, are now helping others. They have foundations. They are in a place of a transformation where they can help. And even if it comes back again, they're better equipped on how to overcome. Because hey, if I could get over 2009, insert whatever year, 2020. If I could get over this, then this, I know this too shall pass. It builds your strength. It makes you just a stronger person, right? Job was the second person where Job's life took a major turn for the worse. He lost all his possessions. All of his children died in a disaster. And he got an agonizing disease. Like, how much worse could it get? You lose literally everything. Job not only lost everything, but then he got sick. And I'm talking about the sickness that you got to stay away from people. Okay. And this was a man of dignity, a man of wealth, a man of stature that just lost everything like that, to where everybody was looking like, damn, what sin did you do? It was like an omen. You ever seen someone where their life just goes to shamble all at once and everybody's looking like, what misfortune, what sin, who's doing hoodoo on you? Because it just makes no sense. What is going on with you? So Job was being seen and looked at like that, like, sir, we feel sorry for him. Can you imagine the deep depression that he must have felt? Finally, he was cruelly and falsely accused of causing his own problems. Job said, I loathe my life. I do not want to go on living. In Job 7, verse 16 to 21, it says, I loathe my life. I do not want to go on living. Leave me alone, for my days are like a breath. What is mortal man that you should concern yourself with him and fix your attention on him? Why do you inspect him every morning and test him every moment? Will you not look away from me and leave me alone long enough to swallow my saliva? Look, back then they were poetic how they spoke. He was telling God, leave me alone for a moment so I can swallow my own spit, okay? If I have sinned, how could I harm you, the observer of mankind? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my transgression and excuse my error? For soon I will lie down in the dust, and you will look for me, but I will be gone. That's tough right there, to talk to God like that. Right? Because this goes into the whole concept, just as believers. I've been in dark moments where there's an impossible situation I'm looking at. And I'm like, Lord, why are you silent? And I'm turning into David and Job with my poetry to him. Like, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you silent? Why have you turned your face against me? Do you hate me so? Like, I'm talking like this. And then I feel so guilty. Like, how dare you talk to, once you calm down and then you read stuff like this, like, man, God already knows how we are as people. We get so frustrated. Just do not curse God. Job talked like this, but he never cursed God, turned away from God. Like, in the midst of it, I give praise to God that even in the darkest times where I would talk like this, I never was like, I'm done with you and, to walk away. I I came close. I came close to where I was angry. I was angry with God, but I could never curse God. And that's the thing with Job. Job was angry to say, can you leave me alone for a second to swallow my spit? Sheesh, why are you on me like this? What did I do to you? Basically, he's saying, have I become annoying to you? Are you fed up with me or something? Why am I your target? Why are you allowing all of this to happen to me? All along not knowing the blessings that was coming and stuff, right? So what helped him? Job prayed to God and talked to others. He, in Job's 10, verse 1-3, he was encouraged by a compassionate friend, Elihu, who helped him put his situation in perspective. Above all, Job welcomed God's counsel and help, and also God himself responded to Job, where he was saying, hey, do you know how to loose the cords of Orion? God comforted Job too, sent him comfort. And after Job had prayed for his friends, God restored everything, not only gave him long life, but gave him double what he had before. And sometimes, if we just hang on a little bit, yes, we can question God. We don't know just how much blessings is behind that door by our testing of our faith. And I know you're like, why do you gotta test me though? Why it can't be? Because we've seen time and time again, a person who goes through no tests and trials, who had the silver spoon, who had it easy all their life, we see morally where their character are. I always thank God for the struggle for me, because morally, if I didn't have no struggle, if I didn't go through no trials and tribulations and some tests, I'd be a hot vanity mess, a mess, self-loving of myself, inconsiderate of people, bearing no fruits of the Spirit, impatient, entitled, spoiled. I would not be a good person. But there's a lot of stuff I went through that kept me humble and grounded. And the Lord knew Kareen needed these trials. And you could see it in children. You see it in children. The spoiled, bratty, say whatever kid whose parent gives them everything. Y'all see those kids. They don't go through nothing. Their parents give them everything. They had it easy all their lives. No kind of respect. These new generation kids. Versus you see the kids that had to grind. The people that had to grind, get it out the mud and do what they got to do. You see the difference in demeanor, the way they speak, the way they are. You see the difference. And sometimes that's all God is telling you. Like, I'm putting you through this for your own good, for your character. I don't want you to be like that. I don't want you to be unaware of your state, of who you are. And it might just be to increase your faith. You praying for faith. Oh Lord, increase my faith. Oh Lord, increase my strength. Make me a mentally strong person. But you're afraid of trials. It comes with it. That's why I said be careful. You pray for wisdom. I prayed for wisdom, and the Lord said, what comes with wisdom is experience. So Kareen, you're going to go through everything under the sun. You got to make some mistakes. You got to go down. You got to learn the hard way to get that wisdom. If you want wisdom, you cannot be afraid of the trial that comes with it. If you want patience, you cannot be afraid of the things that come to test you so that you can increase your patience. You're praying for the faith of Abraham. You're praying for blind faith in the Lord. There will be things that test your faith, and you have to pass the test. And God will continue. The more you keep praying, He'll continue until you pass that ultimate test. And it will be hard. You will be in the fire, but that's what makes a diamond. And eventually you will come out of it. And you just have to hang on. Next was Moses. Why did he want to die? Moses had a huge workload, was constantly criticized, and felt worn out. So he cried out to God. He said, please, take my life right now. In Numbers 11, verse 11-18, it says, Then Moses said to God, Why have you afflicted your servant? Why have I not found favor in your eyes, so that you put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give birth to them, so that you should tell me, carry them in your bosom? Just as an attendant carries a nursing child to the land that you swore to give to their forefathers? From where will I get meat to give to all these people? For they keep weeping before me, saying, Give us meat to eat. I am not able to bear all these people by myself. It is too much for me. If this is how you are going to treat me, please kill me right now. If I have found favor in your eyes, do not make me see any more calamity. Then God replied to Moses, Gather for me 70 men from the elders of Israel, men whom you recognize as elders and officials of the people, and take them to the tent of meeting, and have them stand there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take away some of the spirit that is on you and place it on them, and they will keep you in bearing the burden of the people so that you may not have to bear it alone. You should say to the people, Sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, for you will certainly eat meat. Because you have wept in Jehovah's hearing and have said, Who will give us meat to eat? It was better for us in Egypt. God will certainly give you meat and you will eat. What helped him? Moses told God how he felt. God helped Moses lighten his workload to alleviate the stress. So Moses was talking like Job too, which goes to show you God is not what y'all try to make him be. Like he says, fear him, but I think people, I'll do a video if y'all want that. What does it really mean to fear God? People take it literal like, oh, no, he's not. Look how he allows his children to be honest and raw with him. And that's what he desires. He don't want all these polished and perfect prayers and polished and perfect people that are speaking. No, be yourself with me. Moses like, if this is how you're going to treat me, I didn't ask for this. I actually, when you told me to go lead those people, I told you, no, I can't even speak. Send somebody else. But you put this on me just for you to treat me like this? Like, no. If that's the case, please take me out of here. And some can see it as disrespectful, but it wasn't. None of them cursed God or turned away, because it's like God is really a lover, an intimate relationship where you can have, I know it sounds crazy to disagree with God in a moment. Your flesh, you're human. You're so upset at something, but you couldn't imagine, it's like a spouse, you disagree with your spouse, you don't understand something they're doing. But you're not gonna, the first thought, if you guys are in love and in an intimate, deep relationship, is not divorce, leave, let me go find somebody else. If you're toxic or something like that, okay. Some people have done that with God. They didn't understand God. They didn't have patience. And they forfeited his promise, his love, left him and went to the world, right? They left the church. They left behind because of depression or calamity or things that happen in their anger. Maybe they lost a family member young or whatever, and they turn away. They just don't understand. Job could have did that, right? But for those who do not forfeit the promise, that stick through, and you speak raw with God, you can speak and not turn away and know that I love you still. I'm not walking away, and I know you love me. I know you know what's best for me. It's like our parents. We get angry with our parents. We might want to run away, but we don't run away for real. We hide in the back. We ain't running away. We coming right back. We know our parents love us at the end of the day. We're just upset right now. That's how God is. He's like that parent that, I don't know. It's just very beautiful to see. He allowed Moses the room to express himself. He did not shut him down and was like, be quiet. I'm going to strike you down right now. God ain't never strike nobody down for being distraught and pouring their heart out to him, because he knows where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of desperation and sadness. And he helped Moses. He said, okay, I'm going to help you. Go gather these people so they can help you with the workload. But that anointing is still on you. He was a little annoyed with Moses now, because Moses was with the meat, doubting God. Well, how are we going to feed all these people the meat? As the passage go on further. And the Lord said, you want to doubt me? I'm going to show you. I'm not only going to give them meat, I'm going to give them so much meat, it's going to come out their nose, their mouth. It's going to make them sick and stuff. God was annoyed because Moses was pushing the limits. But he checked them. He knew how to check them. And God knows how to check you too when you're going too far. But it's okay to be sad, to be in your feelings, but just know that in the process of being in my feelings, you are still my God, and I trust you. And it's too much, Lord, it's too much. You can tell him that. But just like he helped them, he's going to help you too. First thing I want you guys to know is God is aware of your feelings. He is aware of your emotions. He is aware that you want to end it. You're at your wit's end, right? He says in Psalms 31 verse 7, it says, you have seen my affliction. You are aware of my deep distress. The Lord is aware of our distress. He knows our affliction. Just pour it out to him. Okay, each and every single time, pour it out to him. When anxiety has overwhelmed me, you comforted and soothed me. Psalms 94 verse 19. Do not be anxious over anything, but in everything by prayer, let your petition be made known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and your mental powers. Philippians 4 verse 6 to 7. And draw close to God, he will draw close to you. James 4 verse 8. And the second thing that I want you guys to know is that the enemy will rejoice in your death. He wants you to think these thoughts, throw yourself out the window and do all these things. He wants you to entertain these thoughts because he will rejoice over, you didn't trust that God was enough, that he could handle it. You didn't trust that tomorrow might change for you and you could overcome this. So he rejoices in those things. And John 10 verse 10, it says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. The enemy only comes so you can give up and say, enough, this I shall never overcome. But there's people that have overcome unspeakable things. You can overcome too. I promise you can overcome too. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand, not left one." Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Psalms 55 verse 22 says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken." Psalms 34 verse 18 to 19. "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all." Yes, so that shows you the Lord has a plan for you, and it's not in his best interest to see you downtrodden. And when you do pour out your heart to him, he will deliver you, because he don't have that plan for you. Trust him. Because remember that feelings and other things in life change. Circumstances could change overnight. While you quit, you might just be just an inch away from your breakthrough and you decide to quit. What the Bible says is you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. In James 4 verse 14, it says you don't know what your life may be like tomorrow. What are you planning, stressing, tripping, and doing all this stuff for, right? Meaning a distressing problem, even one that seems beyond your control, may well be temporary. No matter how bleak your situation seems today, it can change tomorrow. So look for ways to cope. In 2 Corinthians 4 verse 8 through 9, it says, "We are hard pressed in every way, but not cramped beyond movement. We are perplexed, but not absolutely with no way out. We are persecuted, but not abandoned. We are knocked down, but not destroyed." Your distressing situation will likely change in time, but you cannot undo taking your life, okay? We will go through things, but we are still here. We are still alive. When you find yourself to the point you're Googling, is it really a sin? Like, is it really? The Bible don't really talk about it. Like, you going to that point, yeah, you at a dark place. He's working on things beyond your understanding. God lives and works in the spiritual realm. In his dimension, there are wars and processes beyond your understanding. Even if he were to break his silence and tell you what's going on, you'd probably be left even more confused. God first works in the spiritual before he speaks in the material. You can see this process in the creation of the universe. And it's a fact that will never change. All he asks from you is to be still and let him be God. And this was from Full Send Faith on Instagram. Relax. And the Lord is good. That's all I'll say. He is good. And there are entities that have you believe that the Lord is tired of you when you're praying. And if he's not answering a prayer, it's because he's tired of you. He's over you. And he's not going to answer you. You might as well give up. You might as well blah, blah, blah. And I'm here to tell you, the Lord is never tired. You can never bother God. You can never annoy him. You could pray as much as you want to him. And if he hasn't answered you yet, you don't know what he's fighting on your behalf in the spiritual world, or what he's planning, or he's right there next to you. You don't even see it. He's like, trust me, I know it hurts, but it's the process. It's like kids having to get their shots or drink a medicine. They're crying. They don't want to do it, but you're right there. You're not going to take the medicine that you know the child needs and that's necessary for them to get better away from them, but you're going to hold their hand like, mommy's here with you. You have to drink this to feel better, baby. If you have a cold, a flu, whatever, you want the child to be better. You're just going to caress them and let them know you have to take this. It's going to make you better. But they don't want to. It hurts. It tastes nasty. It's this, not. But you have to. But you're right there with the child. But they still got to do it. And God, I feel like that's how he is. He's like that parent, like, I know you don't want this right now, but you have to. You have to endure. Just hang in there for me. It's going to make you stronger. It's necessary. Don't quit. I got you. I'm right here. I'm right here. That's how he is. And he's so in love with us that we're not discarded when these things are happening. We're not unimportant. We are important. Au contraire, the people that felt the most discarded, the most unimportant, is who he was, protecting and shielding the most. Please consider that. Okay? You deserve to be here, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching until the end. Leave a green heart or a fire emoji in the comments if you watch until the end. Share this with someone who might need it, and I will see you guys in the next one.